My 600-pound life has been documenting the stories of people whose weight has reached unhealthy levels for nearly a decade. By the time they're on the show, they've realized that weight loss surgery is the only way to avoid significant health problems, if not death. Although the pursuit of a healthy lifestyle is usually easier stated than done and can even result in complete failure. So in today's video, we'll take a look at some patients that were completely hopeless. Let's roll. Dominic Hernandez.
I feel I'm in a nightmare because my life is such a mess right now in so many ways.
Dominic Hernandez originally appeared on the show in season 8, weighing 672 pounds and only 37 years old when he met Dr. Now. Dominic, who lived in a van with his brother and was primarily reliant on government assistance, had to satisfy his appetite with the cheapest meals available, which were, regrettably, highly processed, unhealthy junk food. Dominic requires a disabled shower, so he and his brother save up and hire a hotel once every 2 weeks to clean themselves off. Bathing was an exhausting process for him, and he said it was growing tougher each time because he had lymphedema.
I can still go to the bathroom, shower by myself. I just can't do it for long. Bathing for me is physically exhausting.
Dominic has always struggled with his weight. When he was 9 years old, his parents began bickering and eventually divorced. He was left heartbroken. He weighed more than 100 pounds at the time, and his weight continued to rise as he grew older, especially after his father abandoned them and never came to see them. He weighed 672 pounds by the time he sought help from Dr. Now, who advised him that Dominic needed to drop 50 pounds in his first month of therapy, which he thought was a, quote, very moderate objective. Despite the fact that the doctor considered this a lower-level target, Dominic didn't quite reach it, losing 23 pounds instead. But when he failed to fulfill his weight loss goal for the second time, Dr. Now told Dominic that he wasn't interested in working with him until he got serious about losing weight. So he was eventually dropped from the program. Larry Myers.
My life is hard. When you get to be super morbidly obese, it's very hard.
We met 45-year-old man Larry Myers, and roughly 15 minutes into the episode, viewers were heartbroken and overwhelmed by the trauma Larry had suffered. Larry stated that his sister was high one day and suffocated her own son with a pillow by accident. He admitted that attending a funeral with such a small casket was challenging. When Larry also lost his sister, things didn't get any better. In addition, his distraught mother died a few months later. And when he weighed 940 pounds, he was barely shy of a ton. He spent a large length of time at a facility after an accident landed him in the hospital where he lost weight. Larry was able to obtain weight loss surgery after shedding a significant amount of weight. Larry had many skin removal surgeries after undergoing weight loss surgery and lost more than 400 pounds. Viewers who had seen the show before were quick to note that instead of losing weight,
I went from being 940 pounds to under 3. Took 7 years, but it's a long journey.
He started gaining it back. It remained unknown what triggered Larry's relapse and weight gain of approximately 400 pounds. Some suggest that it was the result of unresolved trauma from all of the deaths he witnessed as a child. Frederick Barnes.
Me and my mom fixing to take a trip to Houston since I decided to go.
Like many people who have been featured on the show, Frederick found extreme comfort in food. His weight had gotten to a point where he could barely leave the house. The only time he ventured outside was to walk at this point, and Frederick reached nearly 750 pounds. His weight became a life-or-death situation, which is what caused him to seek the help of Dr. Now. After 5 months of hard labor, he was able to lose 125 pounds, bringing his total weight to 615 pounds. Dr. Now decided to approve him for weight loss surgery as a result of his efforts. Regrettably, this surgery was unable to take place as he was discovered to have a weak heart just moments before the operation, and the doctor said that the surgery could pose a real threat to his life. Despite this, the doctor advises Frederick to continue dropping weight on his own in the hopes of having the surgery when his heart gets stronger.
I tried harder than how hard I was. Try to lose more.
Ryan Barkdahl.
I think I lean on food more than I did substances because when I eat food, I don't think about the substances.
Ryan Barkdahl, 31, weighed roughly 740 pounds when he first came on our screens, and he'd realized that his life wasn't really worth living due to his limited mobility and health issues. Ryan's big physique precluded him from sleeping in a bed, so he spent his time in Montana with his mother and her companion in a reclining chair. He'd always been huge, but he suddenly realized that his stature was threatening to rob him of his life and his ambitions to be a self-sufficient man with his own family. Ryan's childhood was turbulent, as it is for many people who suffer from addiction. He imagined his heartless stepfather was his father because his birth father was a heroin addict who had abandoned ship shortly after he was born. As a result, Ryan spent years trying to earn his half-affectioned sister's attention, driving him to seek solace in food. He reached the 100-pound mark at the age of 10 and was sent to live with his loving grandparents, where his weight stayed stable until he learned the truth about his father and lost his grandfather. Despite his mother's best efforts to prepare tasty nibbles for him, Ryan was unable to keep to the 1,200-calorie, no-carb diet suggested by Dr. Now. His mother also removed all non-edible doctor supplies from their home to help them, only for Ryan to start ordering junk food behind her back. Ryan went off the grid and made a lot of excuses when it came time for him to move to Houston to follow the program. Ryan looks to be hiding out in Montana for the time being.
I guess he's not picking up the phone. And it looks like he's doing that again.
Ashley Taylor.
Things are so difficult in my life now because of how big I let myself become.
One of the most memorable cast members is Ashley Taylor, who appeared on the show during season 8. Because of her outright manipulation and secret catfishing, she weighed more than 600 pounds at the start of her show. Ashley was having difficulty with even the most basic home activities, and she was in chronic discomfort. Ashley had been struggling with her weight for almost as long as she could remember. Ashley began to use food as a coping mechanism for the negative events in her life, such as her mother's epilepsy and her grandmother's death at a young age. Ashley had also been sexually abused, which was another occurrence that led her to seek solace in eating. She weighed around 200 pounds by the time she was 7 years old. Her weight made her the target of a lot of bullying from her peers, and their comments had a negative effect on her identity. She enlisted the services of Dr. Now and his team to help her get her life back on track. Ashley was advised after meeting with him that she needed to lose 20 pounds in a month to be considered for weight loss surgery. Ashley struggled despite the fact she just needed to lose 20 pounds, which is significantly less than most of the contestants on the show. She only lost roughly 10 pounds after a month. To address the mental component, Dr. Now suggested she undergo counseling. Ashley was unable to achieve her weight loss goals, even with the added resources. She agreed to keep working towards surgery by the end of the show.
I'm hoping we get to have the surgery because that's what I want. If I don't have the surgery, then this was a waste of my time.
Before we go on to the last lost cause of our list, we'd love to hear your thoughts on today's video, as well as if you have any other favorite shows that you'd like to see on our channel. Crystal Rollins.
Life at my size has become a never-ending struggle.
Crystal was a 39-year-old single mom of 2 daughters. Having her daughters help bathe her was not how Crystal pictured parenting, but she was so large now that there was no other option. Crystal had a lot of problems as a teenager, but it looked like an unlucky start to her visit to see Dr. Now, as she had expected it not to go well because she needed oxygen and had a variety of health issues. She also felt burdened because her daughters are supposed to take care of her. Crystal needed help, but she had no idea that divulging her prior trauma would be a condition of the deal. Her weight was clinging to her childhood trauma, and she was having a hard time moving on. The mother of 2 managed to lose roughly 113 pounds over the course of 8 months, which was more than enough to earn praise from Dr. Now. By the end of her episode, she still needed to work on her health before being approved for surgery. But the important thing is that she's on the right track now, and now 100 pounds lighter to be there for her children. And since the camera stopped rolling, she has maintained a similar appearance to that which she had at the conclusion of her episode. What's crucial is that she doesn't appear to be using supplementary oxygen in her recent profile photos, which was a major point of contention throughout her incident. Dr. Now was adamant that she get strong enough to stop using oxygen, or she wouldn't be able to tolerate the anesthetic required for the surgery. The only thing that matters is Rollins' health, and by all appearances, she appears to be on the mend.
You're starting to be able to control your eating habit better. So I'm going to approve you for weight loss surgery.
Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.